Hey, it's gonna be a little different today. Um, it's gonna be a little different today. I'm going live from two platforms, and so I started out with my son in the rain because it's raining outside. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna sip some tea before I get out of here. I'm gonna jump around a little bit. I know I haven't been on here in a long time, but I want you to know that I haven't forgot about you, my people. You know what I mean? I've been trying to give them the opportunity to straighten things out at a few different places, SMCI with the racism. Same thing with CMCL. And the same thing down there at MDOC with the employee morale, how they're handling the people down there at each of those institutions. So I want to jump on first. Let me start at the bottom. Let me start first by addressing the changes and how you move people out of positions that they weren't doing their job to positions that gave them greater responsibility. So how can you move them from a place that they're not doing what they're supposed to do and give them greater responsibility over more institutions, and where they can't do their thing, where they can't adequately perform their job. They wasn't doing it on the lower level. There were still some issues that needed to be addressed. And if you say that there's no money, if you say that there's no money that MDOC has access to or privy to, then how are you creating these jobs that these with more responsibilities? Of course, are going to come with more finance. So I ask you, uh, uh, executive people of MDOC, how is it that you're creating these positions and you don't have money? You already cut the staff bonuses and incentive pay, by 10%. You didn't cut the staff 20%. So I mean the exec staff at the institution, by 20%. So you're creating these new positions, and then it costs money to give people raises and to get them greater responsibility. So I just ask you, how are you? I know you feel a position with the DCI. Mr. Hunt, I don't have any problem with him. He's a great man, but he was doing the job that he was supposed to do at CMCL. When people escape from when somebody escaped from CMCL, I haven't heard anything about anybody being responsible. Every time there's a situation where an inmate escapes, how you doing, sis? Where there's an escape, somebody's held responsible. Whose watch was it on? Was it on Johnson? Was it on since he was the warden down there, quick bed, was it on the deputy superintendent or was it on the superintendent? Which was Mr. Hunt. What happened with that situation? What happened? The man got all the way out to the community, even though he was found in a rapid response. But whose responsibility was that? Was it the lady in the tower? Whose was it? So you're creating these new positions and giving these people that came from probation and parole greater responsibility when their own institution was in shambles. Now let me jump down. Let me jump down on the coast for a minute to SMCI. You got these rogue CIDs that's targeting black people, arbitrarily shaking them down. There's no way that a female officer is supposed to shake down another female officer when you have a body scanner. You know what I mean? You could have walked over to the body scanner. You don't take her in the bathroom and shake her down by yourself. It gives you the opportunity to say, is your word against hers, where you could ball something up and put on her, or put, you know what I mean? Or say she had, or say she tried to put. It creates confusion when you don't have anybody there to oversee. And first of all, she has to consent. You can't force her to, you can't give the warden an ultimatum where you're saying that that either that it's her or me. Man, you're not important, Mr. CID man. Yeah, I get what your name in a minute. You know who you are, and you know what you did. So stop harassing our people, our black people, our African American workers who are down there at SMCI, like you want to. You hadn't. And then another reason I think that the move is happening is because you think that it removes you from the nepotism effect. You're still your wife's supervisor, you're still your nephew's supervisor, and you're still your cousin's supervisor, which he has no business being at the same institution. Um, he has no business being at the same institution that you're at. You know what I mean, Mr. Huffman? So this is to you. So they move you out of there because your husband, your wife works there. You're the husband of an employee there who works there. How are you going to reprimand her if somebody comes up and says that she's doing anything? I'm not saying that she's doing anything, but how are you going to reprimand her if there's a complaint against her? How are you going to handle that? Are you going to wash it on the table like you've been doing with all the other different complaints that you had filed on her at EEOC? Or are you just going to turn the blind eye and say you was at another institution? Man, you're not equipped to handle Walnut Grove and other facilities, Wilkerson County and East Mississippi with all the deaths and suicide going on in East Mississippi. Man, you couldn't even handle FCI and what was going on with the staff down there. So who in God's name, I want to know who's reviewing these applications and were they ever were the jobs ever posted for these positions? So who's reviewing these applications? Or did you arbitrarily just create these positions out of midair and assign a pay to them? You know what I mean? And Brock Owen never worked inside of a correctional facility. You know what I mean? Mr. Huffman and the commissioner. You know what I mean? So that's who had to come up with this idea. So he had to have another deputy commissioner to sit at his side. So I would assume that it's his right hand man, Mr. Blevins. You know, you're making these decisions without posting these jobs for people. You got qualified people all over the state. You know what I mean? You got some people that you've even let go that's qualified for you to bring back into those positions. You know what I mean? You know, for my understanding, you never found anything wrong with what Deputy Warden Mumford did. So you could bring him back as a superintendent or a deputy warden or deputy commissioner in one of these positions. Not that he would accept for the way that you treated him, but I think that would have still been a start for you to right a wrong. You know what I'm saying? He has way more correctional experience in handling hostile and volatile situations than Brad Huffman, than Mark McClure, and Brock Owen, or any other people that you appointed to these positions. So I think that you're just saying, man, damn what the families of Mississippi do. I'm gonna run it the way I want to run it, and then let their loved ones fend for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So how is your cousin and y'all look alike? The pictures, go back and look at my post and you'll see the pictures side by side. You know that's your family member. Everybody on the compound at SMCI know that that's your family member. And then the video you just said, Commissioner, that you're for the betterment of staff and inmate. Why do you have other people in the kitchen, in medical, in security position, but you're forcing these single black moms to come to work and put their kids off on somebody else, or forcing them to work 24s when they have to get home to their kids? So why are you study forcing my people, our people, black people, African Americans to stay and work 24 hours when you got other people that's getting security pins, that's under security pin, getting paid just like uh the white staff that comes in that you have in position that don't do anything. You know what I mean? So why are they allowed to do 8-hour shift 5 days a week, not having to work in the weekends or holidays? But you got our people, African Americans that are forced to work 24 hours. And some are even on medical. You can't move a person that's on that has a medical profile and let CID come and dictate where they're going to go. But you want to put them on the units where you know that they have a medical profile. Now that's just at SMCI, man. So let me jump up a little bit to East Mississippi. What the hell is going on in East Mississippi? Is ACA reviewing these deaths and suicides attempts that we have that's been going on at SMCI? What are we telling the family members? Man, Hill wasn't sick. Whatever happened to Hill, maybe he tried some drugs. I don't know. I never knew him to use drugs or anything. You know what I mean? I know that he got shipped from Parchman down to East Mississippi. You know what I mean? He was in 29L, but he got shipped from 29L to East Mississippi. And next thing I know, I see on the news, he's dead. I know that he was doing ARPs, and that's another thing. Our ARP process. Why are you delaying the ARP process for inmates to fight for their rights? You know what I mean? You can't stand from a perch and make accusations and say things that are going on at MDOC unless you get on the ground and go down there and see them, Commission. You know what I mean? You're saying from a perch. You're saying from a perch what you're more about family. Man, $20 an hour ain't nothing for a person that has to go home, has to go to work every day and go through a hostile environment and first and deal with hostile staff, white staff, and then go to work and deal with hostile offenders. You know what I'm saying? So until you back and support your African American staff, then you're gonna have that you're gonna have those problems. Ain't nobody want to come and work in a situation like that, man. And unless you're a kiss butt employee, then you treat them bad and you treat them harshly. You're going to force them to work. You're going to force them to do it. Force some of your deputy wardens, your white deputy wardens, to come to work on the weekend. Force some of them to go in on a shakedown. You know what I mean? Yeah, force some of them, force some of your CID that's arbitrarily messing with people to go down and work a unit 2 or 3 times, and he'll get a whole nother perspective. Stop bringing these people from probation and parole and thinking that you're going to bring them into correction and run a correction institution when you know what I mean? When it takes people who've done it from the ground up. You know, how can you appoint somebody to the deputy commissioner institution that wasn't handling his own institution? I have nothing against the man, but how can you appoint somebody to the deputy commissioner of institution when you don't have when he was learning from a person that you moved from superintendent down to deputy superintendent. So you give him a quote unquote a payback job when he takes Ron King's place when he was adequately qualified to run the institution. So there was no need for you to bring anybody over him. If there was a problem that he made a mistake, then you should have sat down and came out and talked to him and see what it was. Because I felt like uh, 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 Superintendent Chamber was doing an outstanding job. You know what I'm saying? So for you to demote him, that's like a slap to his morale. So he doesn't want to do the things that he needs to do in order to make the institution run okay. That's SMCI. Let me jump up to CMCL. Now, so because I let the public know and the mothers and fathers of these women who are incarcerated with different men on the yard, and these men, some of those women have admittedly being hooked on drugs. Get them some substance abuse treatment. So they're going to do anything. If they have opportunities to sell their bodies to get some drugs, then they're going to do it, and they're going to find inmates are creative, man. I know. I was one for 23 years. So they're creative in how they're going to satisfy their needs. So when a woman tells you that she has a drug addiction and that guys are selling drugs on the yard, then she's going to sell her body. And then she sent you a letter. You know what I mean? Sent me the exact same copy. So you can't say you didn't get it because you responded to it and you sent Miss Harrison down there to talk to them and have CID to question them about why they were getting information to somebody who cares about their situation. However, they give me the information, the thing is, you need to fact check like I did to make sure that the information is true. So because you kept her in lockup and she turned out not to be pregnant, that still doesn't negate the fact you didn't even write any of them, the men or the women, incident report for having sex with each other when you know it's wrong while they're incarcerated. You know what I mean? Nobody got an incident report. Nobody got punished for it. Why? Because you want to sweep it under the rug. So if I write an incident report, then you says it happened. So you want to deny that it happened by not giving them an incident report. But then you want to punish them by turning off the phones as if the old pen and paper, the snail mail, doesn't work. You know what I mean? Man, I tried to be civil. I tried to get back and lay back. But when you arbitrarily let people from probation and parole think that they can run a male institution or a female institution, like a person who has been in correction, there are several women out there, uh, Deputy Warden Hines, several people who've been in correction over 20 years that's capable of running MUW and the 720 for the women's institution out there. You know what I mean? Y'all changed the name so much to keep people confused. But the old 720, which is now the women's institution out there at 720 in Pearl. You know what I mean? Man, if you can't house them in the shoe at the big prison over there, man, get them off the yard. If you're not going to put more cameras, get them off the yard and stop telling staff, men and women, to turn a blind eye. You know what I mean? And how is it that the inmate Travis McCoy gets a letter saying he's going home in 2 weeks, but because he doesn't agree with the things that St. Julian is doing, they call him over to the big yard to fix something, and all of a sudden drugs are planted in his when he left. CID goes straight to a place that they said drugs are hidden. Man, that dude was a barber. Why wouldn't he have it in the barbershop? You know what I mean? Why was it in a place that you said was his space when other inmates had access to that space? The man had just got a letter to go home to get an early release within 2 weeks. But all of a sudden now, because he didn't agree with St. Julian, that this man is now in shooting, there were drugs planted in his place, in his house, somewhere that he had access to, and more other people had that. You know what I mean? And so, but you didn't report it when St. Julian's driver, his go-kart driver, his chauffeur, his limousine chauffeur, got caught with a recording device. Where's the incident report on that? You know what I mean? Where's the incident report on that? Man, get off the perch, go out to those institutions and walk around and see what happened. Get one of them dudes to ride you around in the car so you can go in there and check and check and see how them. You can't stop these women from communicating with their families, their lawyers, and all of their attorneys are calling me, their families are calling me. So let them women use the phone, man. Let them women use the phone and check on the condition. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you got Warren Johnson with these, with multiple sexual harassment claims against him. And that was his shift when the guy escaped. Now, I don't think he was there. I don't have anything against him. But his job performance is subpar. You know what I mean? His job performance is subpar. And like I said, Rodriguez had him on the hook, man. Had him on the hook. So he can thank Mr. Chambers for taking that hook out of his mouth. You know what I mean? So you move her, you move Rodriguez, then how can you talk under a pregnant woman's, how can you have the audacity to talk under a black female pregnant woman's clothes and think that it's okay? But everybody is saying it's okay when they don't do anything to you. Huh? Come on, man. Man, the truth is the truth and the truth is the truth, man. How you got staff and let me run down the MDOC now. I'm gonna skip Delta for a minute because it seems like De La Roche is doing what she's supposed to do. But I wonder how she's going to do now that you put the person that had her moving in the first place from Parchment down to Delta. So now you don't put him back over her. She's the superintendent, but now you don't put somebody over her, the same person that didn't address her complaints when she went to him when Batman and Robin when she went to Batman and Robin about issues that she was having about them wanting them to do things wrong. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Like Brock Owen, man. If they didn't come up in correction, they have no business holding key positions in correction. It takes somebody that came up in the ranks as an officer, as a captain, a sergeant, a captain, lieutenant, major, and worked his or her way up. Man, you had Miss Miller down there, CMCL qualified to do anything down there. You could have made her the superintendent. Yeah, the black lady down there. And then the white guy that you fired because he didn't like your stance, Huffman, on the racial issue that was going on. He came to you about the racial issues. You gave him time off. You know what I'm saying? Man, so stop playing crazy and stop acting like everything is peaches and cream at MDOC, man. It's in a turmoil. It's in a turmoil from Wilkinson County to SMCI to East Mississippi to Walnut Grove. You know what I mean? The guy's still looking for their money from the Hobbycraft show. Where's that? They spent hours, countless hours in their sales and out in the wood shop, in the workshop, making stuff to sell. Give them their money. Issue with the club. You're trying to sweep that on the rug. Ethics Committee just put out a report about that. And I'll post it on Facebook today so y'all can look at it. About club as a side hustle. The side hustle is for the staff. It was never for the inmates. The clubs were created so the inmates could buy food, but the side hustle was for the staff. It was never designed to better the conditions of the inmates. Now you have Bradley Long leaving MDO Works, and you're going to give him a key position after he done ran MDOC Works in the ground. You don't remove your name from the memo from MDOC Works, but MAGCO is supposed to be taking over all the reentry. How can a nonprofit organization that is used for making stuff going to come up with a reentry program that's going to be viable to the inmate population? You know what I mean? So you done took the reentry out of the hands of the institutions and saying that MAGCO is going to do the institution now. Man, if you don't give these guys something to do, then they're going to find something to do, and you're not going to like it. You know what I mean? They're going to continue to try to drop packages off. They're going to continue to try to compromise staff. They're going to continue to threaten staff on the phone. You know what I mean? So yeah. What's up, brother? Man, I appreciate it, man. But man, we have to do a better job of holding these people who are over MDOC accountable. And how we do that, we contact our congressman, we contact the ethics committee, we contact the Department of Justice, and we just, we put in a paper trail. The parents of these individuals, man, all of y'all are in this together because your sons and daughters are at the same institution. So y'all families of these incarcerated people got to come together. So, man, calling them, they're not going to respond to you. They're going to ignore your call and put you on speed dial to their recorder, to their voicemail. So until y'all get together, man, and form a coalition, go to the Hope Dealers page, find information. Go somewhere, man. Go to my, when you get a chance, man, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I point you in the several direction. Contact the ACA. Do what you got to do, man, to protect your loved ones who are inside. Or they'll be like Hill and all the other people that are being found dead at EMCF, or the ones that are Timothy fishing them down there, partially trying to kill themselves, man. Whether it's from the living condition, whether it's from the food, whether it's from threats from officers, whether it's from officers encouraging inmates to punish people and to whoop different guys and stuff like that. And it's going on, it's happening. And we can talk about it whenever you want to talk about it, but it's happening. You know what I mean? And so, just like you, Ms. Harrison, you didn't want, you said that one of the guys that came in with me because we were formerly incarcerated, you don't want to live with an inmate. But as soon as Brock Owens come to CMCF, he tell you to get out of the superintendent house. He don't want none of y'all living with his family. So they force you to get out of there. You know what I mean? So that just shows you how much they care about you. You're warden over a whole institution. Here go another guy came from Chickasaw County, went to his deputy warden down there at Marshall County, and came down there and tell you to pack your stuff and get out of that building. That's a guest house, man, for all employees. But you're a black female and he didn't want you living in there with them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, yeah. But anyway, man, long story short, man, we got a lot of work to do, man. We got a lot of work to do, man. Got a lot of work to do. But also, stop having your staff down at MDOC ride around in these regular vans, man. When you got inmates driving trucks that are clean, up to date, and with air conditioning. Man, look at the food service van. Have you seen the food service van? Have you seen the food service van at Parchment? You know what I mean? Man, you so it's raggedy, has trash in it, so they're hauling food from one place to another in an unsanitary. There's no temperature. There's no way to keep it. There's not a hot box in there. You're putting the trays in there. You're wrapping them with shrink wrap, and you're taking them to different institutions. Man, the van is filled with flies, trash, and everything. There's no air conditioning. You're hauling inmates across from one institution to another one with no air conditioning, man. And it's been hot. And you're taking these people from Parchment to CMCF or from CMCF to Parchment. You know what I mean? So, man, we got to do better. We got to do better. We got to do better. Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah. Can you hear me now? Yeah. So I'm having a little malfunction with my yeah. Can you hear me now? Yeah. The long story short, man, we got a lot of work to do, man. We got a lot of work to do. But I'm not through with you, MSP. That was just a little tea, man. I got to run. I got some different people calling me from inside, so I'll be right back. Well, Harrison, check on your people down there, man. Turn them phones on down there at MSU and stop harassing them people. Get them access to ARPs when they want to write people up. You know what I mean? CMCL, man, stop all that racism and stop that nepotism. You can't build an institution that your wife work on it, that your loved one, your cousin or relative is housed at. You need to ship him to Parchment, ship him somewhere else. You can't be over there. Or y'all, you and Mark McClure need to swap. So your wife down there, he's down there with you. But you want to do family, she needs to work for a whole nother state agency, not the one that you're in charge of. You know what I mean? So we can't continue to have this type of nepotism going on throughout the state and promoting them to a higher position. In Marshall County, you got to stop the racism there. You study working, same thing. You got different people that's in security pens and they're not doing the job that they're supposed to be doing. But you have blacks that are you trying to force to work doubles and triples. You know what I mean? 24 hours, 2 and 3 days out of the week. You know it's against policy, man. So stop violating policy and stop stepping on our rights as African Americans. We're already in a bad state, man. Between here and November, it's going to get rough for us, African American, Black people, whatever you want to call it, in the workforce, in the streets, everywhere, in public, everywhere. It's going to get really rough. It's going to get really. You see what happened to Miss Massey when she called the police to assist her. The officer that had been fired 6 times. Same way you got these people, they're moving from agency to agency, and you're putting them in charge of people. You're punishing them for bad conduct, but you keep putting them in these high positions. They're not doing what they're supposed to do at the institution or the department that they were already at, but you're promoting bad conduct. You know what I mean? Yeah, so stop promoting bad conduct and moving these people into position that you know that they can't handle just because of the color of their skin. So you tell me that there are no qualified African American in the state to hold one of those positions that you didn't advertise, there are none. That's what you're telling me. You know what I mean? So go back to the drawing board and look. I'm sure that there are a lot of them at CMCL, Marshall County, SMCI. It's a lot of names. MDOC. So stop promoting your people that are not doing the job that they were supposed to do at the lower level and giving them higher position just because you're thinking you're moving them from the fire. Man, the fire is only going to grow bigger and it's going to get out of control to where you can't even contain it. And then the people are going to be looking for you. So come on with that perch and get out to the institution, sir, and check on your people. Yeah. Y'all take care, man. I love you. I'm gone. Tea time. Yeah, you get a chance, man. Leave me a comment, whatever you like, whatever you want me to address, and I will. Yeah. Thank you. Be blessed and have a blessed day.